How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Set 6, and today we're going to be talking about the game that has come along and taken the world by storm, Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I know a lot of you will have seen this game or heard about it, seen a lot of the reviews. A lot of you will have seen a lot of the news articles that came up over the last month or so, where it's talking about like the variety of the game, other developers coming out and kind of saying to us all like, oh, don't expect us to do something like this. We can't make a game this in-depth and good and amazing. No, we've not got time for that. Here, have some microtransactions. And I'm certain you will have all seen the news article that came out where it talks about some of the romance options and the possibility where you can romance a bear. But I'm here to tell you that this game is much more than the Banger Bear Workshop. Much more than that. And in fairness, it's not really a bear, it's a dude who's turned into a bear. But that's besides the point. Besides the point. Today, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to talk about Baldur's Gate 3 for a little bit, give you the overview. There's not going to be any spoilers because I'm nowhere near at the point of getting any spoilers. I am 25 hours into this game and I'm still sat in Act 1. Yep. Still just mooching around, finding little side quests, finding little random points of interest, and loving every second of it. It's phenomenal. Anyway, I'm going to get into it. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe for future content, share the video, do all the things, do all the social media-y, YouTube-y based things, give me some love. But let's crack on. So, Baldur's Gate 3 is obviously the third game, mainline game at least, in the Baldur's Gate franchise. And it takes place about 120, 130 years after the events of Baldur's Gate 2, and a few months after the Descent into Avernus module for Dungeons & Dragons, which I've not played, so I don't really know what goes down in it other than like reading a rough overview. I won't give any spoilers to Descent into Avernus here, not intentionally. If you want to get the details of it, you can go and read up on it, you can watch YouTube videos on it, or you can crack out the Dungeons & Dragons and play the Descent into Avernus module. So, up to you how you do that. But yeah, back to Baldur's Gate 3. So, at the very start of the game, you have been kidnapped by the Mind Flayers, or the Illithid, or the Geich, depending on who it is. So many names. Tentacle Boys, Squid Chin. I don't know, we'll come up with something. But yeah, the Mind Flayers, they've kidnapped you, and they've seemingly launched an invasion on Faerun and Baldur's Gate. And as we're going through the intro, we meet the first of our friends, who is the Githyanki Lae'zel. Lae'zel's in a pod to the right of us, and we're in a pod, and both of us get implanted with an Illithid tadpole. Now, these tadpoles, they are literally put into the person with the purpose of eating the brain, replacing the brain, and then changing the body into a Mind Flayer. So, over the course of a week, roughly, that tends to be the time frame, ceremorphosis would take place. And the poor soul who's had this tadpole inserted into its brain would quickly be replaced by a Mind Flayer, and they'd lose all of their memories, all of their personality, because the brain essentially gets eaten by the tadpole. So yeah, we're starting the game off on the front foot. We're doing good. But before we can continue on that path, we see a portal open, we see dragons come through, we see dragon riders, and we see the Githyanki. Now, the Githyanki are a race who were enslaved by the Illithid for a very long time. They dwell in the astral plane, and they eventually rose up against the Mind Flayers, and now they are the race that kind of keeps them in check. If it wasn't for the Githyanki, the Mind Flayers probably would have just had full dominion over the astral plane. They would be able to focus all of their efforts on attacking Faerun and other realms and things like that. But because of the Githyanki, they kind of keep the Mind Flayers in check. Now, this is all stuff that we don't really find out in-game in the early stages, but it's stuff that we kind of know from the universe. So this is all information that's out there. You can go and get more details on it. There's a lot more nuance to it and detail. I encourage you to go out there and find that if you're interested, because it's pretty cool. But yeah, dragons attacking the ship that we're on, which is a weird tentacle-y ship. Very Mind Flayer-ish, it makes sense. It makes sense, I get it. We hop around a couple of realms. First we hop to a snowy realm, and I'm not sure where that is. It could be somewhere in the world that's snowy, obviously. It could also possibly be one of the 9 hells. So in this universe, like, the hells are split up into 9 different layers, each one of them kind of having their own characteristics and things like that. So some of them are you expected, ooh, smoky, fiery, hot. But some of them are actually quite cold, such as Stygia and Cania. So yeah, it's possible that we hop into one of them, because As soon as we leave this snowy area, we then pop into another one of the 9 hells. Again, not 100% which one it is, but this one's definitely one of the 9 hells. So yeah, it's possible that we're just kind of hopping between the two. Some more stuff goes down, we get attacked in the hells, and then we pop back and crash land. And that's where the game picks up. You are lay next to a crashed ship, you've got a weird tadpole squirming around in your brain, and you haven't got a clue. Go. That's the start of the game, and you quickly meet some of the other characters who were also on that ship and have also got the same situation going on, and you eventually find out that there is a group of you who have all been infected with these illithid tadpoles, but it doesn't seem to be progressing how it normally would. So as I said earlier, it takes about a week for this to kind of kill people off, but you start seeing the effects very quickly. You know, you'll start seeing people suffering and going through changes gradually over time. None of that's happening with our party. And that's all I'm going to say about the story. That's like the initial setup. You can get all of this from the intro of the game, so there's nothing particularly spoilery in here. I just kind of felt it would be good to give some context and maybe just not deep dive, but explore the Illithid and the Githyanki a little bit more, just so people have got a bit more context going into the game, so you kind of know the situation a bit more. And from this point on, a pretty sprawling adventure seems to kick in, where you've got a pretty massive amount of things that you can do at this point. Like I say, I'm probably about 23, 24 hours into my playthrough, still in Act 1. Still just kind of kicking around in the first area, finding new stuff every now and again. There's still more stuff that I've not found. I'll guarantee it. I'll absolutely guarantee it. And I'm just having fun just kicking around there. It's just amazing. But there's not only a massive amount of things that you can do. I think one of the things that shines the most so far about Baldur's Gate 3 is the variety of ways that you can do things and the variety of outcomes that there are for the things that you do in the game. One of the prime examples of this for me, it's not something that I've experienced yet, but the game apparently has around 17,000 different ending variations, purely based on how you've gone about things throughout the game, how you've gone about things in the ending, which characters you've got relationships with, etc, etc, etc. There's so many different variants to the experience that you can have, which means you can play through this, and you will look at probably putting 100 hours into this game on a playthrough, it's starting to look like, easily. But then when you finish that playthrough, you would be able to start another playthrough, and while it would be similar story-wise, you could have a completely different experience just by going about things slightly differently, and you will get a different ending based on that. And I just think that's phenomenal. I think a lot of other games companies need to take note of a lot of the things that Larian are doing here with Baldur's Gate 3. Rather than complaining and saying, oh no, you can't expect us to do that. Here, have some more microtransactions. Maybe take note. Maybe take note. Now, the combat is turn-based, which is music to my ears, makes me very happy. And if you've played Dungeons & Dragons before, you'll be good. You'll be fine. It really is D&D 5e. There are a few little tweaks and changes here and there, just so that it can feel good in a game. Certain things did need to be changed, and that makes sense completely. But on the whole, this is just deep, tactical, turn-based gameplay of the highest order, which isn't a surprise given the fact that we are playing Dungeons & Dragons the game. Like, I'm not surprised, because Dungeons & Dragons does offer some really deep, really fun, really pressure-filled combat experiences, and Baldur's Gate 3 replicates that brilliantly. Like, if you don't go into these fights with your tactical head on, thinking about what you're doing, using your resources properly, you're going to die. You're going to die real quick. I've died numerous times, and I know what I'm doing, and I keep dying. So, you know, brace yourself. But turn-based games are easy. You need to play an action game if you're going to have a real challenge. Shut up, Timmy. Now, moving on from the combat, which is phenomenal, and there is a video coming about turn-based soon. Trust me. I've got a rant building. I'll be good, though. I'll be good. This isn't the place. It's the next meeting that we talk about that. But moving on from that, let's get to the characters, because, wow. Wow. The characters are just so good. Like, I enjoy them. I relate to some of them. Some of them I hate. Some of them I love. Some of them I want to love. Some of them don't love me. It's just so good. Like, waking up in the middle of the night to find that one of your campmates has got a dagger to the throat of another one of your campmates, or recruiting a character just to be kind of chilling in camp, and then someone sneaks into your camp to try and kill that person, and then you recruit them as well. Like, there's just so much weird stuff that goes on. So much weird stuff. And I love it. I absolutely love it. The variety of the characters is amazing. The relationships that the characters have with each other really add to the feeling that you are a group of people just trying to muddle your way through this and try and figure it out. And not everyone's perfect, not everyone's good, not everyone's bad. Everyone's got a secret. Like, they've all got their own little secrets and their own motivations for what's going on. Certain characters will get annoyed with you and leave if you do completely the wrong thing. There's just so much depth to it. So much depth to it, and I absolutely love it. Like, Final Fantasy 16 recently did a very good job of its characters, in my opinion. It was one of the strongest points of Final Fantasy 16, its characters. And I was thinking, yeah, we're probably not going to see characters this good. Now, the voice acting of the characters in Final Fantasy 16 helped massively. The performances were phenomenal. And yeah, like I say, I didn't think anything would surpass it anytime soon. And literally a month later, Baldur's Gate 3 comes along and just blows it out of the water, in my opinion. It's insane. And I'm nowhere near... Like, I am literally in the first 15% of the game still. And I'm already like this. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to get too excited. It could fall off a cliff, but I very much doubt it. It's shaping up to be just godly all the way through. But it could fall off a cliff, you never know. So I'm not gonna get too excited about it, but I am also very excited about it at the same time, and probably too excited about it. So read into that what you will. The last thing that I can really talk about with this game, because like I say, about 15% into it, if that, is the world. And the small little corner of the world that I've existed in, like I say, it's not a massive area of the map that I'm in. It's so full. It's so full of little side quests to do, little items to find, little barn doors to open that you really definitely shouldn't open unless you want to have a horrifying experience and feel bad afterwards. There's loads of little things, little corners, little avenues, little holes that you can fall into. You can affect the area that you're in completely and change the dynamics of it. I won't go into too many details because, again, I don't want to be spoiling anything. I feel like people really need to play this game and experience it. But yeah, from what I've experienced, the world is just going to be brimming with content. It really is. There's going to be so many experiences that you're going to be able to go off and have. So many different ways that you can do things. This is the thing that's sticking in my head so much. The variety of things that you can do. Ways that you can go about things. It's beautiful. I honestly feel like they should probably do a demo. I feel like they should do a demo because I think more people would buy into it if they did a demo. But at the same time, I don't think they need to do a demo because the game's doing absolute numbers anyway. And the numbers that it's doing is making other people think, oh, I should probably get this game. Everyone's playing it. So maybe they don't need a demo. But I've seen a few people say, oh, I don't know if it's going to be for me. I would say try it, personally. This is one of those once-in-a-generation kind of games. Like, once-in-a-few-decades kind of games. Like, my God, this game. It is insane. And it just goes to show that a solid, single-player game, without all of the daft microtransactions, can be phenomenal and will still sell and do numbers. And same with turn-based games. I've been hearing this same bullshit for you. No, I'm not doing this. This is another video. Next video I'm going to go on this rant. Next video. But yeah, have you played Baldur's Gate 3 yet? What class have you gone with? What race have you gone with? Are you having a good time? Who are your favourite characters? Let me know everything in the comments below. Like, just give it to me. I'm ready. I'm here to talk about Baldur's Gate 3. It is phenomenal. It is almost certainly going to be Game of the Year unless it falls off a cliff, which, like I say, I don't think it will. But yeah, just tell me all the things. Talk to me about Baldur's Gate 3. And if you've not played it, I highly recommend that you check it out. Like, I genuinely, like, I don't shill for games. You know me. If I think a game's bad, I'll say I think it's bad. Like, I'm a Final Fantasy guy. Final Fantasy 16 is a Final Fantasy. You'd think I'd have shilled for it. It wasn't that good. It was alright. It wasn't anything special, though. This is special. This is one of those games that you really should not miss out on. Like, genuinely. Check the game out. If you listen to one thing that I ever ask you or tell you to do, play Baldur's Gate 3. My God. But I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I'm fawning over this game too much. I need to chill. I need to go and play Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah, I'm going to leave you now. But don't forget, like the video, subscribe for future content, share the video, tell me about your tadpole. Like, do you look after your tadpole? Did you bang the bear? Who's your favourite character? All of the things. All of the things. Just let me know. But more importantly than any of that, play Baldur's Gate. I mean, have a great day. Have a great day. Yeah. Have a great day.